Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we have a NASCAR race on Sunday that starts at 2 o'clock, so do keep that in mind. Before I get started, can you guys smash that like and subscribe button? It really helps the channel. So we're going to get into the betting part of this first, and I'm going to show you how this works on DraftKings Sportsbooks here. So you have race lines, so you can pick winners, top threes, or top fives, or top tens. And so I'm going to go through the different drivers that I like for these bets and kind of give you those. All right, so I have three players I think or three drivers I think are worth taking a chance on a win. One of those would be Chase Elliott. The next one is Tyler Reddick, and the third is Michael McDowell. I think those guys have the best opportunities to win this race. I don't really like Larson and Byron for the wins on this one, but they do have the best odds as well. Kind of a Hail Mary play would be Ryan Blaney, though he does have some risk as he's been pretty solid recently. As for top threes, I also think Chase Elliott and Tyler Reddick are viable options there. I would suggest holding off on Michael McDowell because I don't think if he wins, I think he'll probably likely get a top 10. But I do like him in the top 5 aspect. I also like Kyle Busch for a top 5 as well. So those are my bets for these top 5 options. As for top 10s, obviously Chase Elliott and Tyler Reddick have very good odds, so it'd be kind of pointless to really run them out unless you're going to do a parlay with and include a couple extra drivers like them. But Michael McDowell is definitely possible here. I also like, Kyle Busch is a good one. Ryan Blaney also in play here. Alex Bowman is a good option. He's a little bit of an underdog, and so is Joey Logano. I think these guys all have nice upside. I think Austin Cindric is also borderline, as is Martin Truex Jr., but he's been inconsistent. AJ Allmendinger does have some top 10% potential as well, but his car hasn't been quite as good the last few races at these types of tracks, so I'm a little concerned by that. And then Ty Gibbs is a kind of a Hail Mary play at this position. So moving on to our DraftKings aspect here. So we'll start at the top here with Chase Elliott. He's the most expensive option. I expect him to have a good opportunity to win here. He does need stage points, but he should also be good enough to go for a win. He's had multiple victories in the past year, and he's definitely a viable option and makes a really good case for the win. As for Tyler Reddick, he also is in a very similar position. He's won 3 of the last 9 road races, and while he's similar to Chase Elliott and needing stage points, he should be in line for a potential win as well, or at least a top 5 or top 10, and so that definitely gives him a lot of viability here. Then we'll look at Christopher Bell for $9,500. Now he's capable of winning here. He's had a win and another top 10 in his last 3 races at this track, so he's definitely a capable option. Though he does feel a little bit riskier than some of the others, as Joe Gibbs has been a little bit inconsistent. Kyle Busch also in play. He's had 2 top 10s, also 2 top 5s in the past 3 races here, and he's definitely capable of that again, though I do think he's a little bit riskier today. He definitely has some potential on the slate. Michael McDowell is in play for front row. He's been really good at these tracks recently. He's also out of the playoffs, so he's got nothing to lose on this race. I look for him to try to get to the front and try to stay there, and he will be difficult to pass if he gets up there. Same goes for AJ Allmendinger, only his car has been a little bit not perfect recently, but he is capable of at least a top 10 even if his car isn't perfect, because he's such a good driver of these tracks. But he does draw some potential, but he's a little bit pricey, and so he is a little riskier on this race than he normally would be maybe because of the way the cars have been. Ryan Blaney is in a similar position as Kyle Busch. He's been really solid with 2 top 10s the past 3 races here, and so I do think he's a viable top 10 option with a low-end top 5 potential and maybe even potential for a win. Joey Logano used to be pretty good at these types of tracks. He really hasn't been that great lately, but he's in his last 3 starts here, he's been in the top 18, so he's got 2 top 10s in those spaces. His price has come down a lot because he hasn't been that great lately, so that is one of the reasons, but he is definitely viable here. Alex Bowman is also in play. He's also nice and cheap. He also has really good top 10 potential. And the 4 races that Charlotte that he's had 4 top 10s. That's not bad for fantasy or for top 10 bets. He's one of my favorite cheaper options. Then we're going to get some value plays that are very value. Austin Cindric will start this. Now, he has top 10 potential here, though his car hasn't been as good as these tracks, but for fantasy and top 10 potential, he definitely is in play depending on his starting position. Obviously, if he starts farther back, he'll have better upside. Eric Jones also in play for he's here at the 43. He's had some really good finishes here, but keep in mind he's driving for Legacy Motor Club, so that is a concern because they have been somewhat inconsistent this season, but he's definitely capable at this track. Justin Haley's got nothing to lose here, and some of his best Cup finishes have been at road courses lately. He's also had a top 5 here in the past, and he has capability. He's definitely capable here, as he has a top 5 at Chicago earlier this year as well. So he's been driving pretty good. Austin Dillon also has some low end upside, though he's hard to roster a lot of times. He's had 3 starts here in the top 20 over his last 3. So he is definitely capable as a cheap option on the slate, especially if he starts farther back. Same goes for Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece has actually had 2 top 20s the last 2 starts here. He may start farther back too, which should give him a lot of upside. He's definitely a capable driver at this track, and he's had some pretty good finishes lately. So I think he's a viable option here. So with that said, guys, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below, and have a nice day, guys.